They forged weapons that could outlast kingdoms and tools that survived centuries, yet their secret was lost to time. Why does a medieval sword remain untouched by rust, while our modern steel crumbles within years? Inside the metal itself lies an ancient code, a forgotten science hidden in the impurities our age tried to erase. This is the story of how imperfection became immortality, and how the secrets of medieval metallurgy still defy modern technology. They called it wrought iron, but to the blacksmiths of the Middle Ages, it was more than metal. It was life. Every nail, every hinge, every sword carried a story of fire, patience, and a kind of wisdom that we, even in our age of machines, still struggle to understand. Modern science has given us skyscrapers of steel, bridges that span oceans, and machines that touch the stars. But ask any archaeologist why a medieval iron gate from the 13th century still stands strong while a 20th century bridge corrodes to dust, and you'll find a mystery hidden in the forge. You see, medieval iron was never pure. It was alive, full of flaws, slag, and phosphorus. To modern engineers, that sounds like poor craftsmanship. But to medieval blacksmiths, those impurities were a blessing in disguise. When they melted iron ore in their primitive furnaces, called bloomers, the temperature never reached the melting point of iron. Instead of liquid metal, they produced a soft, spongy mass known as a bloom. It was filled with tiny threads of glassy slag, trapped like veins through the metal. When the smith struck that hot bloom with his hammer, hour after hour, those slag threads aligned into delicate fibers, invisible to the eye, but powerful against time itself. Modern steel rusts because once the corrosion starts, it digs deep, tearing through grain boundaries and eating away from within. But in medieval iron, when rust begins, it hits those slag fibers and stops. The rust spreads sideways, forming a thin protective layer instead of burrowing in. That's why a Viking axe, buried for 1,000 years, can be cleaned, sharpened, and still hold an edge. But that's not all. There's another secret, one that came from the earth itself. Many European smiths used bog iron, ore formed in wetlands and swamps. It was rich in phosphorus, an element that, when exposed to air and moisture, forms a glassy, protective layer of iron phosphate. That layer seals the surface from oxygen, preventing further corrosion. You can see this phenomenon in the legendary Delhi Iron Pillar, built over 1,600 years ago. Despite standing through monsoons, pollution, and time, it has barely rusted. Scientists discovered that its creators unknowingly produced a crystalline iron-hydrogen phosphate film that renews itself over centuries. The ancients didn't know chemistry, but they understood the language of metal. They didn't fight the impurities, they worked with them. Every hammer blow in a medieval forge wasn't just shaping iron, it was aligning history itself. The blacksmith's intuition turned accidents of nature into the finest form of preservation. Modern steel, on the other hand, is the product of precision. Carbon carefully measured, phosphorus and slag removed, purified until flawless. But perfection, as it turns out, is fragile. By chasing purity, we lost what made iron eternal. Take the swords of Toledo, Spain, for example. The region's natural ore contained traces of nickel and chromium, two elements that resist oxidation. Without knowing it, Toledo's smiths created blades that shimmered for centuries without rust. Or look at the Damascus steel of India, forged from woots, a material so advanced it contained microstructures resembling carbon nanotubes. Even modern metallurgists struggle to reproduce it. These blades weren't accidents. They were art, chemistry, and philosophy combined. Medieval smiths worked slowly, often spending days refining a single tool. An axe could cost a farmer an entire month's wages. A sword, half a year's income. That made each piece precious, maintained with care, passed down like treasure. Contrast that with today's world, where tools are cheap, mass-produced, and disposable. Rust isn't feared because we simply replace what's broken. Durability is no longer a virtue, speed is. But back then, a blacksmith's reputation lived and died by his work. Medieval guilds enforced brutal standards. A blade that snapped in battle could mean exile. A faulty hinge that failed might ruin a family name. So every creation was meant to endure. They even used oils, waxes, and animal fat to seal their work. Seasoning. The metal, much like we season a cast iron pan today. Over time, that created a patina, a dark, stable layer of magnetite that further protected the surface. In essence, medieval iron aged gracefully. Modern steel decays quickly. And the difference lies not in technology, but in philosophy. The blacksmiths of old saw iron as something living, something that could breathe, bend, and be reborn. We see it as a commodity. When archaeologists uncover ancient weapons, they find not just artifacts, but proof that patience and imperfection can outlast perfection itself. Each slag fiber is a scar that became strength, each impurity, a secret ingredient of eternity. So the next time you hold a rusted nail, an antique hinge, or an old gate still standing strong against time, remember? It wasn't science alone that made it endure. It was human touch. The rhythm of hammer and anvil, the wisdom to embrace imperfection. In every piece of medieval iron still shining through the centuries, there's a lesson for us. Sometimes, what we throw away in the name of progress is exactly what made us immortal. If you love stories like this, where history, mystery, and science intertwine, hit that subscribe button and join us as we uncover more forgotten genius from the past. Because sometimes the most advanced technology was forged in fire long ago.